Hello and welcome to this workshop about ditching your self-doubt by learning to trust. By learning to trust both in yourself and in the universe. Um, I'm so glad you're here. I am calling these things as workshops rather than webinars because for some reason I have a little bit this kind of passive feeling about webinars since I have been into really many and really many good webinars throughout my life. But the thing with webinars, usually, not always, but usually, they are quite passive in a way that it's just, listening and watching the other one telling their things, even if it's valuable things. But um, that's why I'm calling these things that I do as workshops, because you actually get to do stuff. You actually get to participate. Let's see, maybe our dog participates as well. His name is Bentley. He might sometimes bark, especially if there's dogs or people going around, but let's try to deal with it. So I call these things, okay, he wants to say hi. Chen. No, not. As workshops because it's meant to activate you. So we're gonna do some journaling. So please pick up your diary and a pen or just some paper if you don't have any journal or a diary. But we're gonna do journaling work, and also in the end of this, we're gonna do this kind of healing journey where you really need your own space and time. He's laying here at my feet. He wants that I clap him. um, so really, before you start to watch this, so know that you need at least an hour, your own time. We're gonna make it about 1 hour. It might go a little bit over, but not at least more than 75 minutes. So just make sure that you really have your own time and you have silent around you. Okay, he's saying hi now. This is our 2-year-old Bentley, Australian Shepherd. He always gets really excited when I start to speak because obviously he's feeling that here are some people I'm speaking at, and yeah, I am recording this, but I am anyway talking to you, to all of you beautiful people who are wanting to learn how to have more trust in your life. Okay, so let's get started. I'm trusting that you have now picked up your journal, and maybe a glass of water is good to have as well. So, but before we actually dive into the subject, just a quick introduction about myself. So, my name is Kirsi. I know it's a hard name to pronounce. I'm from Finland, born and raised in Finland. I have been um, living there almost my whole life, except 2 years in Sweden. So, my husband comes from Sweden, and we have 2 kids. They are 10 and 11 at the moment, and this beautiful dog. So I count him as one of my child, so 3 kids. But now we actually have moved from cold Finland to warm and sunny Spain, where we have been living now for about, yeah, over half year, soon 1 year maybe. I was counting, well, at least over a half year, 7 months or so. So, and why this? Why am I here recording this kind of workshop? Why am I here to teach all these things where it all goes down into my early childhood or like early teenage years? I've always been very into spirituality and angels and all this kind of spiritual realm around us. Like, and the funny thing, I just remember so clearly when one of my friend, I think I was about 15, 16 back then, my friend asked me, like, Kirsi, do you really believe in all that stuff? You're speaking about angel and life after death, and I was already speaking about reincarnation and like what's death? That's nothing to us. Like, come on, we're not dying. Only our physical body is dying. The soul keeps, moving on. So I was actually speaking of all this kind of stuff when I was a teenager, and my friends were like, or this particularly one friend asked me, do you really believe in all that stuff? I'm like, what? No, I don't believe. I know. I remember her face. So it's like these things, what I'm teaching now here for you today, they are just stuff that I know. People call it clear cognizance, clear knowing, like kind of just, I consider myself as an old soul, but an old spiritual rebel soul. So I'm not a fan of, there are lots of rules into these spiritual societies, and especially in old traditions like yoga. So I am a Kundalini yoga teacher. I've been teaching for 5 years now. Actually, I used to run a yoga studio back in Finland for 4 years. Um, so there are really many old, and I like to say old and rusty systems and rules in these spiritual realms, and I don't like them. I hate rules. Uh, so I consider that as one of my life mission, to just really bring the message of authenticity up, of being unapologetically you, and just be you, show the real you. Like I said, I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher, a Reiki master teacher as well. So that means I am a Reiki healer, but I also train new Reiki healers into this world. It's an honor for me to do. What else? Well, my last profession was a Waldorf school class teacher. Um, and then I do channelings and all this kind of spiritual mentoring. So I consider myself as a spiritual person, but that's the fun thing in that as well, because we are all spiritual people. We are all spirits already. So it always sounds a bit funny when I hear myself say, yeah, I'm this kind of like spiritual mentor, or oh, she's so spiritual. Yeah, but I'm really spiritual. It's a little bit the ego voice there. Anyhow, my life mission is to just be out there, be raw and real, and even if I am a spiritual person, you know what? I still do eat meat, organic, of course, and I don't eat meat every day, but I eat it a few times a week, sometimes even more often. I do drink alcohol. I love champagne. I love beer, especially in warm Spain. I don't think there is nothing better when you're like really sweaty and it's really hot, and just take one cold beer. And one, that's enough for me. That's just like, oh, something that I love. What else? I love luxury. I love to arrange luxurious yoga retreats. Um, I love money, beautiful things, clothes, walking heels. I just bought like 1 year ago my very own, no, not even 1 year ago, but just, yeah. Well, anyhow, I just bought my first Louis Vuitton bag. So being a spiritual doesn't mean that you have to give up things, that you have to kind of ditch the old self. It's about making more of you. It's about bringing more the authentic you up. And what do we need in order to bring ourselves more out there, to actually show the real us and to take those steps um, into our unique soul path? We need confidence. We need trust. We need to really trust in ourselves and what we say and what we speak and teach, and we also need the trust from universe. Okay, let's make one thing very clear. I might speak about God here, but for me, God is just like a creator. God has like thousands of different names, and all of them are right. If you don't like the word God, you can just think universe, or you can think the great spirit. uh, yeah, well, those are some of the names, but just when I'm referring to God, it's not any religion. Love is my only religion. So, yeah, that was a little bit my path, and I have been on this soulpreneur path for soon 6 years, and I just love it. I love it. I love it. And it definitely has not been easy. Definitely. And especially like finding my own purpose. I have been struggling with it so goddamn many times. Like, and then there has been moments like, okay, now I know it. Now I have found my purpose. And I've been really excited, and I just like went down the path, and this is it. This is it. Now I know. This is my purpose. And then few months goes, and then I see like, okay, the excitement starts to like drop, and like, okay, am I really supposed to do this all of my life? No. Does this thing what I was so excited about just a few months ago, does it still bring me joy? No, not anymore, at least not as much as it used to. So I've been into this kind of turning point so really many times in my life, and just like countless of times I have been just lying on the couch, literally crying, and really thinking like, what is this? Like, why nothing is working? Um, why what I'm doing here? Like, my favorite sentence has been over these years really often, why the hell am I here? What am I doing? Like, um, what is my purpose? I've been asking that question for myself for so freaking many times. And like I said, then there is a time like I think I found it, and this is it, this is it. I get really excited. And yes, that's true. That was part of my path, that was part of my purpose for a while. Um, but the biggest thing, oh, now I'm seeing that the internet connection is a little bit unstable. Hopefully it will now, it went away. Good. But the biggest thing in this topic about finding my own path, finding my own purpose, again and again and again, the biggest thing there I have realized is that you need trust, and a lot of trust, and over again, a lot of trust. And the funny thing is, I even wrote a book about this. This is my second book, called Open Your Fucking Heart, a spiritual guide to stepping fully into your power and purpose. And it's a really good book. I really recommend it. It's quite short, but it's full of like really, really good things, teachings. You can get it from Amazon. But it's just funny because in this book, when I start to channel it, meaning the only thing I knew when I started to write this was, okay, I need to write a book about love, and I need to channel a book about your purpose. And then I just started to write it. And when I did it, I had this idea coming through like, okay, there's 5 steps about finding your purpose. You can read all about it later. I'm not going into the details now, but the last step I wrote there was that you need to let go and surrender. You need to trust that your divine life purpose will be shown to you in divine timing. But what I did not write there, what I actually realized a little bit later, is, well, how to trust. I realized that people are all the time being told, even I am saying that to my clients, like, well, just, you need to let go and trust. Really easy to say than do. And then I even said that to my own mentor. Yeah, but I do trust. I do trust. Like, for example, we just moved here into Spain with 2 kids and a dog. We drove a whole Europe through, and we actually moved into a place where we have never been before. Heck, my husband has never even been in Spain before, only in Canary Islands, but not in southern Spain. So we took a huge leap of trust. So it's kind of like, yeah, I am trusting. But when I heard my mentor say, but maybe like, trust even more. Trust that everything will work out with your purpose and with money and blah, blah, blah. Just trust even more. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how can one trust even more? Because I consider myself already as a very kind of like well, person who has a lot of trust in universe. For example, my son, our firstborn, was born over 3 months before his due date. So he was this tiny, weighed 770 grams, and he had to spend the first 3 months of his life in hospital. And in that moment as well, I had a huge amount of trust. Like, I remember all the nurses and doctors around me when this happened, they were just totally like, they were like almost worried about me and my husband, because we were so like kind of like almost, well, one can't say happy, but that we were actually so calm, and we took it so well. And they, anyway, there was this policy of when everything this kind of thing happened, you actually we were like almost forced to send to a shrink to speak with this traumatic thing that happened. And I was like, oh my god, like I'm not maybe so good. And they sent us there because they really thought, is something wrong with us? Because we were not crying, we were not panicking, we were just taking things really easy, because we had so huge amount of trust. And we were then once in the shrink, and I almost started to laugh. I remember this so well. The shrink came and noticed that, the tissues in that, when people cry, there's always those tissues in the room. So she was like, oh, hell, welcome. She was so really like, what's the word? Well, this like really almost shocked by herself, like this something so horrible had happened to us. We were young parents, like around 23 or something, and it was our firstborn, and she was almost more shocked and sad than we. And she was like, oh, the tissues are ended. I'm just gonna get some more, because usually, these are very needed in here. So she was like referring that we would eventually start to cry, so she needs to pick up some more tissues. Well, did we start to cry? No. And in the end of the session, the shrink was like, okay, I see like that you are taking this quite well, and you seem to have a lot of trust around that everything will go exactly as it's meant to. And yes, it went then really well. Okay, this was just a little side note. I have no idea why I shared this story. It just came out. Maybe some of you needed to hear it. Who knows? But the story behind that was that, so I consider myself as a person who has a fucking much trust, but then anyhow I always kept on pumping to this subject again and again and again. You need to trust more. You need to trust more, and even more, and even more. And I'm like, okay, but hey, dude, or her, show me how. So I actually did ask a straight up question to the upstairs, that I like to call those people upstairs. Show me how. Like, how can I trust even more? And I remember it was one Saturday afternoon. I was sitting in the sun, or actually, I was sitting in shadow because it was so damn hot in the sun. So I was just sitting out in our terrace, enjoying my cold beer, and I was just relaxing and surrendering and letting everything go. And just this thing came to my mind. Yeah, what about the trust part? Like, do you have some answers for me now? And answers started to come. Oh my God, it just like, it was like so-called this download, people like to say. I was like, okay, well, I don't have any pen and paper here. Well, I had my telephone. I just started to type onto my telephone all these things what I kept hearing. Well, it's like the voice of my own voice, the mind. It was not like I heard some voices. I heard my own voice in my mind. So I just started typing it down on my telephone, and it was like 6 or 7 different pieces that just came through. I'm like, oh, perfect, thank you. And I've been now teaching these things not for so long, actually. But I just felt intuitively straight, oh my God, these are just so important tools that need to be shared. That really there are so many people out there, just as me. I know maybe you also have been struggling with the whole idea of my divine soul purpose and what it is, and the concept of trust. And everybody, including Kirsi Englund in her book, says keep on saying, just trust. Your purpose will be revealed to you. Everything will be really trusting divine timing. Surrender, let go, trust. But there is not so much information available out there that tells us how. So that's why I created this workshop. Okay, I'm just checking the time already. 20 minutes has passed. So let's just dig in. There was just a little bit information about me and about how I came into this subject and why I think it's so really important. So these 8 keys, tools, secrets, however you would like to pronounce it. So if you want to write them down, please feel free to do it. So the first one, I have them here written on the paper so I don't forget any. So the first one, let go of control. And I know people keep saying this and it's like, okay, well, I'm trying. But this, how you let go of control, you start with baby steps. Like, for example, for me, it was when I started to like literally practice about letting go of control. For me, it was all about these little things at home, like how I want to put up the laundry, how I want to fill the disher machine, washing machine, disher machine. I think it's dishwasher, the real name. Anyhow, and some just really small stuff like housework that you are doing home or at your work. So really just start with baby steps. For example, I used to have this idea that you have to hang the laundry in a certain way that it that it would dry faster. And then if my husband was like, yeah, I can take the laundry, I was like, no, it's okay, I can do it. Because I wanted to have control, that I wanted to hang the laundry in the right way so that it would dry more faster. And maybe you have pumped into this one classic, there are some relatives or some of your friends visiting you and they are helping to clean the table after a dinner and they can say, well, do you need help? And you are like, no, it's okay, I've got this, because you don't want that they clean up the table and fill the dishwasher in the wrong way. Maybe some of these are familiar to you. Maybe not, maybe you have some other issues, control issues. So just, start with baby steps and learn to trust that, you know what, the dishwasher or the laundry or whatever, it will be okay. It will get cleaned. It will be okay. Just learn to have trust in other people around you that they can take care of these little things. And when you are like noticing that, okay, it works, and then you can maybe take a little bit more bigger steps, like really letting your relative or friend take care of your pet, or, just letting go of the control little by little. That's step number 1. Step number 2. You don't need to understand life. In order to live a fulfilling and happy and abundant life with full of purpose and meaning, you don't need to understand shit with your head. Just a few examples. For example, do you understand how your cell phone is working? Like do you understand that with your logical mind, that how you can speak to another people around the globe and you can actually see her face here while you're talking, or how printer works, or how I remember when I was small, I always was so amazed like how fax, you remember fax fax machines? If you are younger you don't even maybe know what they are. But fax machines, like actually you can fax this paper around the globe with just dialing some weird telephone numbers. I remember when I was little, like, wow, how is this possible? And all these technological things, and not only technological, but for example, human life. How how it's possible that we women can actually carry a new life in our stomach. Like from this tiny cell, how it's possible that from this tiny cell it can form a human baby. Miracle. And you don't need to understand miracles. You don't need to understand how the whole process works. And anyway, you can have babies if you're a woman. Or yeah, of course, if you're a man, also you can have babies as a father figure. Um, so that's just the thing. Just because we are living so much in our head, we want a logical reason for everything we do and everything that like is like our mind is so hungry for just to get know how things are working. But you can just calm your mind and it's like, okay, you don't need to understand. You can still live a fulfilling life without that you have to understand, or that you don't have to understand all this, how, for example, how law of attraction works, or all these spiritual things about reincarnation and all this stuff. You don't have to understand. It's enough that you feel. Or like I said in the beginning, that I just knew things. I just, it was just clear knowing. I just knew things already from young age. So it's enough for you to just to know or feel things. You don't need to understand. Okay, step 3. Um, it's a little bit similar with step 2, but it's anyway a different one. At least this is how it came for me. That you don't need to know. You don't need to know what's happening tomorrow. You don't need to know what's happening next year. You don't need to know what's happening when you resign from your day job and you ground your own business. You don't need to know um, how the money comes. If you have done your aligned action and if you have been available and you have been, for example, marketing yourself, if you're a now entrepreneur, you have been working, you don't need to know how the money will come. You just trust. Well, money was just one example, but the concept of that it's safe for you to be in the space of not knowing. Okay, just close your eyes for a second. Just imagine the space around you. It could be like a black womb. I actually love this. I have one really nice quote I would like to read to you. Yeah, I read it now. Just close your eyes and just really take these words in. Listen and take this, feel these words. You don't have to understand the words, but just feel these words. Okay, I don't find it now, but I think I remember it by my heart. So, Divine Mother of all life, take me to that place deep within your womb where I can know nothing and be reborn anew. And the last part, where I can know nothing and be reborn anew. These are from the book called Sophia Code, written by Kyra or channeled by Kyra's sacred text. So you are safe to be in a place of not know. I was just thinking this urge and this feeling or this need that we have, that we need to know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week and blah blah blah. Maybe it comes, I don't know, but maybe it comes from, back in the day where we were living in the forest and we were, for example, American Indians, or kind of like when we were living in more simpler lives, and we really had to know how we're going to get the food, because there were no supermarkets we could go and buy food. So it was not back in the days, like I'm speaking 500 years, 1000 year, I don't know, just hundreds of years ago. It wasn't maybe that safe to be in this kind of place before, to be in the place of not knowing, because like I said, there was no supermarket you could just go and buy food. But now it's different. Now you have everything you need around you. quite close even. Maybe some of you are living in the countryside, so you actually need to maybe drive some kilometers to get food. But anyhow, you are safe to be in the space of not knowing. I was number 3. Number 4, trusting in the divine timing. And this has been really hard for me. Trusting in the divine timing, that everything happens for a reason always, and that for life is happening for you always, not to you. If you think like life is happening to you, you have this like, oh, why this happened again, and why always me, and blah, 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 victim consciousness. But the idea that life is always happening for you, so whatever kind of crap is happening, know that it's happening because you created it somehow. Okay, we're not going to go up into that subject. It's going to take way too long. So I back up a little bit. Things are always happening for you. Let's just stay there. And how to learn to trust in that, how to learn to trust in divine timing, it's through, at least for me, I'm speaking from my own behalf, and the kind of like download that I got then one Saturday afternoon is through signs. I would not be here without signs. Like I started to see signs when I was already, or where I was teenager. And first signs I got were numbers. First it was number 17, then it was 777, and it's still 777 and even 7777, like 4 times in a row. I keep seeing them constantly. And these kind of feathers and just whatever they are, signs can be that you just open a book and you know some word or sentence, or you hear maybe some sentence or some specific word when you are watching TV or radio or some song or some animal, whatever. Signs can be whatever. And oh my god, yesterday I want to share this story. Yesterday I was holding, it was actually my husband's wallet I was holding. I needed to get the credit card to update one billing information. So I was holding my husband's wallet and I was like, oh, what's this green thing over here? I was like, oh, it was a 100 euro bill. I was like, oh, this looks fun. Cash, you're not holding cash so much nowadays, but here in Spain, actually, people use a lot more cash than, for example, people did in Finland. So that's why we are having these bills, or he is getting more cash than I. So there was this $100 bill. I was like, oh, this beautiful green bill. I was watching, like, oh my God, I almost fainted. There was also my numbers. It was like 272 and then 777. My birthday is 7th of February. So 7-2. So those twos and sevens are like all over in my life all the time. So it was in the bill even, 777, and it was yesterday. I was like, it's just so crazy how the signs are showing up all the time, everywhere. So science helps you to trust in the divine timing, to trust that everything will reveal to you when the time is right for your soul, for your own unique soul journey. Also, a really good thing here that you can do is to really set an intention every morning when you wake up. It doesn't have to be straight when you wake up, but just do it in the morning sometimes. Just set an intention and ask, or kind of like command, ask that I want to have divine timing today. Like I actually use the words in Finnish. The words are sacred order. So I'm always like asking, like, I want to have sacred order today in my life, meaning that everything will be brought to me in divine timing, and I trust in that. Even if shit happens, sometimes that's a part of life, that shit happens. And when shit happens, you are just thinking, okay, this is happening for me. Okay, number 5. Patience. I am not good with patience, but I'm getting a little bit better. So I have always been, even one of the first words when I was like 1 year old, my mom shared with me was that it was in Finnish, of course, the word, but it was hurry. In Finnish, äkkiä, äkkiä. I always said like hurry, hurry. So I have always had really much hurry to get to different places, and I've always had really much hurry to kind of like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? It's not this. What is it then if it's not this? Like I thought I already found it, but no, it was not that. Blah, blah, blah. Like, please give me answers right now. Thank you. Like we are living in this fast food chain, and we are so used to that we are getting everything that we want right here, right now. But like, unfortunately, when you are stepping into this kind of journey of discovering your sacred purpose and stepping into this path of really living truly from your soul-led life, you are living from your heart. So you got to have a little patience because, like I said, divine timing, everything happens in weird ways. There's this saying, what was it? Something with God. God has a weird way of showing love or something like that. It's not going like that, but yeah. Anyway, it doesn't go like usually how we want or like how we think it should go. It usually goes like this. And how to have then more patient in your life? How to be more patient? Of course, there might be really many tools on that one, but one that helps always me is to concentrate on joy, to do something fun. And when I say to do something fun, it doesn't mean always you have to go out to movies or you have to go somewhere and have fun and go to shop or something. It could be simple things like just put up the volume of your favorite song, watch a movie, watch some really good movie that you like at home. Dress up, put some makeup on. It could be whatever, but concentrate on joy, concentrate on things that makes you feel good. And of course, living in here and now, which is easier, of course, said than done. And that's a whole another subject. We can't speak about now, but I'd highly recommend, if you already don't have it, you have to buy Eckhart Tolle, Living in Here and Now. That's like worth of gold. Little bit about presence. Okay, number 6, a few more to go. Taking action, like really taking those bigger leaps in faith. The first one, letting go of control that we talk about, that's a little bit more baby steps. But then really, if you want to fully learn to trust in yourself and to trust universe, God, you need to take those steps. Because how else are you going to know? You won't know it before. So we have been kind of crazy. Me and my husband, we have twice now done this to move into other country. Just completely started afresh, and both times were when our kids have been with us, and now this time it was even a dog, and we, like I said, we drove the whole Europe, and we actually didn't even have these things, so it was quite the journey, but we made it. And yeah, and I'm not saying you need to move to another country. You could also search a new job, search a new apartment, a new house, get a pet, just take some little bit bigger action steps towards the things that your heart desires. So don't just make some kind of action step for sake of doing some kind of, okay, Kirsi said you need to take some kind of action step so you can actually learn to trust in life. No, take action step towards those kind of things that are your dreams, that your heart really is desiring. because the speak of your heart, what actually feels good in your body, that's the language of your soul. And of course, you always want to follow the language of your soul. Step 7, a little bit, again, same like with the last one, build up your confidence. It's a little bit two-way street, I have noticed here. When you learn to trust to higher realms, to God, I have noticed that when you learn that, you actually are also at the same time building your own confidence. You are ditching the self-doubt, but it's two-way street. It's other way around. When you are doing things, you are building your confidence with intention, like really, okay, I have this self-doubt, I can't do anything, I'm not good enough, like everyone else is doing better than me, blah, 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 blah. What helps in that is to really do. You may have heard this before. Confidence grows by doing. And let's take an example, live videos. I used to hate to even do this kind of videos. And I used to even more hate to go live on my Instagram or Facebook, for example. Like literally, I was always shaking. I think even my voice used to shake a little bit when I started those doing. It was horrible. I did not like it, but I knew I had to do it to confront my fear, to confront my self-doubt, and I just knew, just like in everything in life, practice makes perfect. You need to practice, you need to do. So in order for you to learn to trust, you need to do. You need to practice. It's just, there is no shortcut. There is no simple living kind of magic. You need to do the work. And the last thing, learning how to trust is acknowledging that I was just speaking about how when you start to trust in yourself, you start to trust in universe, and the vice versa. When you start to trust in universe, you start to trust in yourself. So this is a little bit like the same there, that you actually start to acknowledge and realize that you are part of this universe. You are not separate. You may have even heard that you are the creator. You are the God. It sounds a little bit like crazy, like, oh my God, what she's speaking. I'm not the God. But kind of you are. There is a divine sparkle in you that represents the God-like part in you. We are all creators. We are all together co-creating this world. You are not separate. Yeah, in somehow, yeah, you are living in this 3D world with 3D things, papers and pens and clothes and stuff. So yeah, you are separate in a way in your physical body, but in energetically level speaking, we are all one. And I know it's a big piece to grasp. And you know what? Remember what's step 3? You don't need to, or step 2, you don't need to understand. You really don't need to understand this concept with your mind. Really, you don't. But just to acknowledge that, oh my God, yes, I'm one with universe. I am just as divine being as everyone else. So next time you're having an awful self-doubt moment, you know, you're scrolling down on Instagram and you're seeing that someone else is doing the exactly same thing as you are doing, but a lot of better, or you think that's your ego speaking, that she's somehow doing it better, you think. So you just stop yourself like, okay, I am just as equal as her. We are all one. We have all the same divine qualities inside us. And of course, the thing that helps really much me always to ditch my self-doubt is that you are needed exactly the way you are now. Your energy is unique. So even if we're all part of the same energy, same universe, we are all one, but also you are at the same time, like I said, you don't have to understand, but at the same time, you're also unique. You have your own unique voice, your own unique blueprint of being, your own unique gifts, your own unique soul purpose. You are unique. The whole you, even your fingerprint, literally, your eyes, everything is unique. And there are some people that are waiting for you to teach or to do that thing that you just scroll down on Insta. You saw that this lady is doing this thing already. And then you're like, okay, my world is going down. Like, and the ego is just like, okay, this person is already doing the stuff I was planning to do, or this person already is teaching about that. Why should I now do it? Like, who am I to do this? I'm not good enough to do that. I don't have the skills. I don't have the gifts. Blah, blah, blah. It's our dear ego speaking. Shut up. You just say to that ego, shut up. Go away. I don't believe you. I don't trust you. Knowing that there are people waiting for you to do it in your way, in your style, with your energy. I always get a little bit excited about this because it's just really, that was a huge piece for me that did this like in my head, like, oh, now I get it. Because I used to have the exact same self-doubt monster moment in my head. I was just thinking for months, like, why I am supposed to write a book. I have written two actually now. How come I'm supposed to start this kind of hardware academy? There is already like Mind Valley and all these big, amazing kind of like spiritual schools already. Why am I supposed to do this? They already exist, and there are already people who are doing it better than me. But then I realized, by the help of my one mentor, actually this mentor, she was one of my first mentors. Her name is Kira Poulsen. She will be a guest teacher in my hardware academy. She's amazing. So it was with her help, I realized that people need you and your energy. They don't get the teaching if they hear it from someone else, because there is not any energetic match. So that's why, just really, really, even if you have so much self-doubt at the moment about your purpose, even if you don't believe a shit in your own gifts or a shit in your own purpose right now, just really, please listen to me. You have a sacred purpose. And if you are watching this, and if you have been watching, we have been on for 47 minutes already. If you're still here with me and you're still watching and taking in this information, you really do have a big purpose. Universe did not bring you all the way to me to watch this workshop. We're just soon gonna do the journaling part. All the way if you did not have a big purpose. You are needed. Your energy is needed. There are some people who need to hear it, who need to learn it from you. Okay, so just a quick recap before we go into this more transformational part of this workshop. It's a little bit more lecturing in the beginning, but soon we're going to do a few journaling, empowering journaling. When I actually channeled the questions, I was all about, okay, I want to actually introduce some kind of empowering journaling. So the questions are really awesome that I channeled. It's always feeling a little bit like, oh, did I really channel? But yeah, I did, because really I just asked for questions and then I wrote them down. But just a quick recap on really how to trust. So you need two things. You need doing, you need to take action, you need to practice, you need to take those leaps of faith, you need to let go of control, and you need being. So you need yin and yang. Yin and yang. You need to be in feminine energies and in masculine action energies. So feminine energy is more about being, surrendering, trusting, creating, being that black womb kind of space of not knowing, resting. It's like moon energies, and then you need to be in masculine, young energies. It's all about the energy of the sun, action, strategy. You need both in order to fully trust. And when you are practicing both pieces, both being and doing, you are creating a trust in your life. And when you have trust, I believe, this is my words, if you have trust, you have everything. You have everything if you have trust. Including, you have a deep inner knowing about your sacred soul purpose. And when you have trust, you can say bye to self-doubt. Like, I know there must be hundreds of other tools as well about how to ditch your self-doubt. For example, all these guidelines like, well, just stop comparing yourself to other. Yeah, okay. It's so easy to do. Not. we have this innate thing that we are always comparing ourselves. Anyhow, there must be thousands of books written on this subject. But like I said, for me, the most important piece in ditching the self-doubt has been to learn to trust. And with these steps, keys that I just shared with you, they have helped me enormously already in this short time. Like I said, this is a totally new thing. It just came here literally a few weeks ago. And of course, I straight wanted to share these teachings. So, yeah. Okay. Grab your journal and pen. Just about the time, I wanted to let you know we have 7 questions. And then in the end, we're going to do a healing journey. So I guess this class will take now about 75 minutes. And when you start to journal, don't think. Ditch your mind. Say bye-bye to your ego, bye-bye to your mind. When you start to journal your answers, just really trust that the thing that comes straight up into your mind from your subconscious, just that's the right answer. Trust that whatever wants to come through to the paper, that will be the right answer. Okay? So no second guessing. Oh, sorry. No second guessing. Oh, I got this weird barb, sorry. Okay. Question number 9. You don't have to write this down, only write the answers down. Why it is safe for you to let go of control? I could speak this with your own words. So, why it is safe for me to let go of control? Whatever comes up. I give you about a minute to answer to every question. I repeat it. Why it is safe for me to let go of control. Why, number 2, why it is safe for me to not know the next step. Why it is safe for me to not know the next step. Next one. What is my way to communicate with the universe? What is my way to communicate with the universe? With the guides, with the angels, with the ascended masters, whatever, with the universe, with light beings. What is my way? Write whatever comes up first, trusting that piece of information that comes first. And what signs specifically you would wish to see? Like, for example, is it some number pattern? Is it some animal? Is it some words? What feather? What sign specifically you would like to see? That you know that kind of like the channel is open. Upstairs. How does it feel in you when I say that you are a part, an important part of this all, this world, this lifetime? How does it feel in you when I say that you have a big mission, that you are a part of this all, an important part? Number 5, continue with your own words and trust that the right words will come. I trust myself because... ... I trust myself because... Next question. I am okay with just doing nothing because, remember we talk about being, how it's okay to just be, do nothing. So continue. I am okay with just doing nothing because. And the last one. This is a little bit longer now, but this is the last one. If I wasn't afraid of anything, if I trusted that all of my plans would always succeed and I knew that there wasn't any mistakes or any failure, I would. So if you knew that nothing could stop you, there would be no failure, there would be no mistakes, there would be all the money for you if everything would go exactly as you wished, there would be no it's just like if everything would succeed as you wanted, so you would what? And I just noticed the battery of the computer is getting soon low, so I have to get the thing where I load the computer. I'll be right back. So that was the last question. Journal on that. There was my crystals. Computer is totally surrounded with crystals. Okay. Sorry, but I bet that you are now done with your journaling. So, time for a healing journey. So this is a closed eye process I do with my clients, almost like meditation, but meditation activation. But I call these healing journeys. My own mentor that taught me this kind of thing called it like conscious journey. But it's a closed eye process where we zoom just in a few seconds we're going to go into, but just few things about it first. So don't try anything. Do not make it as an effort. Don't try anything. So if there is some, for example, image or something that just doesn't add up, something that doesn't, for example, I'm saying something that you are seeing this and this. If you don't see it, just whatever you see, you do it in your own way. You see it in your own way. So away with all the trying, and just welcome in whatever there is that your soul wants to show to you, or maybe bring a message to you via feelings or whatever it is now. Okay, so perfect. You can lay down or sit down. It's gonna take about 10 minutes, I guess. Then we are about ready for today, or yeah, for today, for this workshop. So, was it something else I wanted to say about that? No, okay, we continue. So close your eyes and just concentrate on your breath. If you're sitting, so feel your feet towards the ground. Or if you're laying down, you can just imagine how your body is getting more heavier and heavier towards the couch or bed, wherever you are at. But if you're sitting, just feel your feet grounding and connect with your breath. Let your breath flow just as it wants to flow right now. Connect with your breath. You can even do a few sighs, like maybe just let go. And call your energy back to you, meaning call your soul back to you, wherever the energy of it might be, the energy of your thoughts. Call your energies back to you. And now feel how you are grounding yourself even more. Feel how your body is getting heavier and heavier. Feel how your face is relaxing, your pelvic area, your feet. You can even feel how roots are growing up from your feet. You can imagine these roots or just feel or know that they are there. Feel how these roots are taking you down, 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 deeper and deeper and deeper, all the way in the center of the earth, where you see and feel this beautiful central crystal that's shining its beautiful rainbow light. And feel how this rainbow light flows through your roots, up, 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 all the way up, connecting to your physical body. Let this beautiful rainbow light just purify, clear, and cleanse your physical body, all of your chakras, one by one: root chakra, sacral, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat, third eye, your crown chakra. Feel how it's clearing. Also connect with your crown chakra, top of your head. Connect up, 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 all the way up. Feel how this golden white light takes you up like this channel, connects you with your own soul star, connects you with this unconditional love and light that is right now pouring down upon you. And while it's pouring down, you feel how the beautiful golden white sparkling light is actually emptying and purifying your mind as well. And feel how it continues, this beautiful golden white sparkling light. It continues its way through your throat and it stays in your heart. With every inhale, just feel how this amazing light grows bigger and bigger, larger. Feel how it expands your heart. And now with your mind's eye, we're going to take a little journey and feel and or see and or know that this beautiful golden bridge is appearing right in front of you. And you start to walk this golden bridge. And this golden bridge is just magical. It's magical because when you are walking it, it's really long and big bridge. So you're just in the beginning of this bridge. But it feels just so magical because when you're taking the steps slowly on this bridge, you will just see and feel and you know how all of your thoughts and fears and self-doubt and all these negative limiting self-beliefs, you are just letting go of them. You just feel yourself so much more lighter. Just see how this old energy is descending under the bridge. It's kind of like transforming into this golden color of the bridge. Just letting go, let go, let go. Now you're all the way in the middle of the bridge and you could just feel yourself a lot more lighter. And you continue and you continue. And soon you are coming to the end of the bridge and you feel yourself so much more lighter and you even feel how you walk differently. Your shoulders are back, your heart is open, you're smiling. You're really feeling the new you, the more confident you who trusts in your path. And while you are trusting in your unique path, you're actually seeing that this beautiful golden path of sparkling light, it continues its way. It continues its way through this forest. It's beautiful forest with this amazing new kind of green, light green colors. It seems like it's spring in the forest. And the birds are singing so beautifully and there's all these cute animals and beautiful flowers. You keep walking your path and you see this big, enormous tree just next to you. Where did this tree come from? You're amazed. It looks like it's some kind of magic tree and you just want to go closer. And as you touch this tree, you are notice a door appearing. And of course, you are so curious, you want to go inside of this tree. And inside you go, and you see the beautiful golden sparkle light again, and you know that you have to follow the light. And there are these beautiful wooden stairs that take you up. So you start to walk one step at a time, slowly up, up, up. They are quite long stairs, so few steps still. And when you are in the last step, this amazing golden room appears right in front of your eyes. It's so beautiful. It's full of crystals and beautiful flowers, and it even smells like lilies. It's just amazing to be here. The room is so big and wide. You can't even understand how this kind of place can be inside of a tree. But there you are. You are touching all the beautiful things in there, all the beautiful crystals. And you are seeing this sparkling golden color everywhere. You just feel like home. You feel like yourself. And you are sitting in this beautiful, comfortable couch, which is also sparkling. It's like a magical couch. And you are noticing that in front of the couch there is a TV, but it's not a normal TV. No, it's some weird crystalline alike golden sparkling new technology TV that looks just amazing. And you see that there is a movie playing on the TV. And as you watch, you are noticing that you are in that movie. You are seeing your future self on that movie. You see how you walk, you see how you talk, you are confident. What are you doing in that movie? Who are you speaking to or with? What are you seeing in that movie? What are you feeling? Take all this information from this crystalline movie, TV. Just really take it and anchor all the information and the codes into your heart, especially the feeling. Anchor it into your being. The movie ends, but it doesn't matter since you have got all the information you need from it. You are feeling so grateful of this room, and you hear a voice saying that you are welcome to come into this golden room whenever you want. This crystalline TV will be here, always for you, to bring you answers. So know that you are welcome to come here whenever again. You feel so blessed and grateful, and you feel also full of peace and trust. So you bow deeply to this room and thank and start to walk these stairs down again, one step at a time. You are landing down and exiting the tree, opening the door, and you will see this beautiful bath green path that leads you to that golden bridge where this started, but this time you are walking that golden bridge with a much more confidence and love and full of purpose and joy and peace and trust. The world around you, the beautiful views, it's just breathtaking. And you know that you are walking exactly where you are supposed to be. Now feel again your breath, feel your toes, your fingers. We are coming back to here and now. Oh, so it's for me a little bit hard to also come back to here and now. So now just take your journal again and write down that feeling, what you got from that golden room. It's really important, so write down that feeling, or maybe you felt 2 or 3 different feelings, but at least one feeling I want you to write down now. And we are soon stopping this, but also maybe later after this recording or workshop, maybe there was some other information you want to write down as well. But at least for now, write down the feeling. And then I would invite you to write down also an action step. One action step that you're gonna take towards your purpose now. And I might hear you saying, but I don't know the purpose. I can't take any steps. I know that. I've been there and done that. So if you are feeling like that now, it's totally okay. Just make a commitment that you are going to take a step, small or bigger one, towards that kind of place or towards that kind of thing that brings you joy and peace. And you're going to take that action step from that kind of energy, from that kind of feeling that you just wrote down. So that feeling that you anchored in yourself in that golden room, that is your compass. That is your guide. That whatever you do in life, whatever steps you are taking, whatever action you're taking, take it from that kind of space. And we are over 75 minutes right now. So I am a huge fan of all different kind of oracles. This is Alana Fairchild's oracle called Isis Oracle. I love Isis. Isis is an ascended master. And I just, and this is what happens often. So if there is a card pumping out of an oracle deck, that's really meant to be. So, what an interesting card. It said, Truths Unveiled, the Revelation of Isis. What are your truths that want to come out? I've shared my truths. I've shared that I'm a modern yogi, Kundalini yogi that loves wine, eats meat. No one is getting hurt from that. So what's your deep truths that wants to unveil? I'm feeling to called that I want to read a few sentences. These are really long, so I will not read the whole, but let's see what it says more about this. There. Okay. There are times when appearances of people, places, and things are truly deceptive. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you, when you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you. You may think there is something wrong with you, but actually you are intuitively sensing that all is not as it appears to be. It is wise to trust your inner feeling rather than being convicted by outward appearance. There is a situation in your life, especially involving relationships, where something is not as it is being made out to be. To avoid undue suffering later on, Isis guides you to truth and revelation now. Okay, so if you're experiencing some kind of distrust or just some kind of feeling, feeling of off, I think that's really good example. Just again, you don't need to understand, you don't need to put a label on it, you don't have to know. But if you're feeling a sense of off of some situation, of some relationship in your life, whatever it is, so trust that kind of feeling off and really have the guts to say no, really have the guts to speak your truth. Okay, so that was it. Really exciting cards. I was thinking it's gonna be some card of butterflies and angels and something really card full of hope, and instead we got this fierce message of Isis. But that's what I wanted to come through this time. Yes, that's a perfect example that spiritual life is not only unicorns and fairies and light all over. It's also swearing, like my book, Open Your Fucking Heart. It's also meeting the deep parts of you, the shadow parts, what we actually gonna go a lot through in my Heart Warrior Academy. So if you're interested to be a student of my Heart Warrior Academy, so go to my webpage, my name, Daklov, Kirsi Englund Daklov. You'll find it probably some email later on. So there you'll find more information about the Heart Warrior Academy and also information if you would like to work one-on-one with me and with the masters, because Ascended Masters are always with me, with us when I work with my clients. Okay, I'm wishing you a beautiful day, and just if you have some questions about this, about everything we talked, or about something else, just please send me an email and I promise to get back to you. Okay, bye.